Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So, with the recent events and stuff like that we've seen in the news, decided we need to go ahead and have a talk about grid down and preparations for grid down. So unfortunately, we've got a lot of stuff moving around here in the yard, so we're actually going to have to change locations for this video. Thankfully, our good friends at DARPA has hooked us up. Alright guys, technology is great, isn't it? Alright, so let's go ahead and get out of the wind. I know the wind's picking up on the mic, and we're going to take this inside a little bit and we're going to talk about a few things. Alright guys, so we've done many videos on coronal mass ejections and EMPs, grid down scenarios, and we have done videos in the past about preparations for grid down. Now last night we did a live stream. I had come across some information from watching Mark Fugel News, Mark Fugel TV. He's always talking about certain aspects that people need to be preparing for, bringing news and stuff like that. So we did a live stream on that. And today I decided that we need to sit down and have a nice little talk about what you need to be preparing. Alright guys, so one of the first things I want to talk about is water. Water is a necessity in life. Now, you can store water. We've talked about storing water in 2-liter, 3-liter soda bottles that have been washed out. We've also done milk jugs, water jugs. We've done videos on rain catchment barrels. We've talked about collecting water, rainwater, using tarps for runoffs into these barrels. We've also talked about filtering water. Now we've shown the Sawyer Minis, we've shown the Sawyer gravity-fed filtration systems they offer. We've also shown the newer style ones that filter out everything. Of course, those are a little bit more pricier. And we've shown the live straws, okay? There's many different types of water filtration that is out there. Choosing one that best fits your needs. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to sit there and force you to go buy anything. I do recommend having a Sawyer Mini. I like Sawyer Minis. They're compact, they're very versatile. That's why we use them. There's a lot of water filtrations out there, guys. Get something that can filter out water. Alright, next up is food. Food is a necessity. You have to have food. Now, you can go longer without food than you do water. Water, the running thing is 3 days without water. Just depends on the scenario. If you're in a hot climate and you're doing a lot of work, you're not going to make 3 days. Okay? Food, they say anywhere from 21 days to a whole month. If you went 21 days without eating, you're not doing much moving. I'll tell you right now. You're not going to make 21 days and actually be humping a pack through terrain and stuff like that, going 21 days without eating. Start putting food back. Now, we've talked about many times about our long-term food storages, Legacy, which, yes, we are affiliated, guys. We have links up. I have never pushed long-term food storage over normal rotational stock. Normal rotational stock, for one that's new to prepping, is what you usually buy at the grocery store. Something that is in a can with a long longevity as 2 to 3 years to 5 years in a canned goods. Dry goods, pastas, oats, things like that. Get those first before you even go buy Mountain House and Legacy and all that stuff. Sure, I love reaping the income from Legacy Foods, affiliate programs, stuff like that. Of course I do. I like having money too. But buy your normal foods first before you go buy stuff like that, guys. You can sit there and take the exact same amount of money for a 6 month supply of Legacy food and easily get a year's supply of normal food that you normally eat. You just put in rotational stock. We've done many videos on weekly prepping. Those weekly prep videos, it's just stuff we're going to the store that goes in a normal rotational stock. So every week when we make our meals, okay, today we're doing spaghetti. We pull from our stocks what we're getting for our spaghetti. And then when we go to the store next time, we're replacing that item. It goes in the back of the stack. Everything gets moved forward. And that's how you do normal rotational stock. Get that food first. Okay, now I want to go with Bang Bang sticks and Freedom Seeds next. But I want to address power first. And the reason I want to say power first, if you are on medical equipment that requires power to run, and this medical equipment must work to keep your life, so you want power, okay? Get an inverter. Get a way to generate DC power that can transfer into AC current. All right, batteries, car batteries, solar batteries. All right, so how are you going to recharge your solar batteries? Solar panels. We recently got involved with the solar generators. All right, those things are great. They're expensive. Okay, there's many things that you can start preparing for. But if you're required to have a medical device to keep you alive and you need electricity, you need to be working on something like this. All right, generators. A regular gas powered, diesel powered, propane powered generator is another option. It's a cheaper option than a whole bunch of solar panels. It's a cheaper option than the solar generators that we are now affiliated with. And yes, I do say affiliated with people because I want you to know that we are affiliated with them. All right, I don't want to be I get accused of stuff all the time. So this is me telling you, yes, when you buy something from our affiliate programs, I make money off of it. There, it's out there. We've always been transparent. But a regular generator, our generator is a Harbor Freight generator. We paid 350, 400 bucks for, something like that. It uses gasoline. All right, so what do? We store gasoline. All right, we keep that on hand so we can run that generator if we need to. We have solar panels, we have solar power, we have wind turbines. We have took the time and the investments and to slowly build and slowly grow our preparedness items. So there's many different aspects in this, and that's why electricity has overrun the bang bang sticks as number 3, only because of medical needs. Now, since we're on electricity, guys, food preservation. All right, electricity runs our deep freezers, our refrigerators. Without electricity, that food will go bad. Now, your deep freezers and stuff like that, they will last a lot longer without electricity than a refrigerator does. So you do have a little bit more time on that. That's why we try to prepare for as much as we can for an alternative power source. Now, if you've been with the channel for a while, you know that we're hogging and stuff like that. We do a lot of survival training videos on this channel. We hunt for meat. We do all, we grow gardens, all that stuff. So with a grid down scenario, let's say you bag yourself a nice sized deer. If you don't have a way to properly store that meat, it's going to go bad quickly. And odds are you're not with a community of people. Odds are you're trying to stay hidden. Odds are you're trying just with whoever's in your house to survive. That food, that meat will go bad before you get done eating that deer. I hate to say that, but it will happen. So having electricity to generate a freezer or even one of those electric DC coolers. Now, we've shown our cooler in our trailer. That is a DC powered or AC powered refrigerator. It's a cooler, all right? And it drops the temperatures down 39 degrees below ambient temperature. So as long as the room's a certain temperature, it's 39 degrees cooler, and that's our refrigerator. Now, we have the ability to run our heater, we have our ability to run our air conditioner if necessary, lights, fans, the whole 9 yards. But that's because we took the time and the investment to do it. Now, on the topic of food preservation, sure, you can salt a lot of food, and it can be done. If you do not know how to do it, learn how before you rely on your preparation, survival preparation skills on salting food. If you've never done it, do it now and learn if you can or what you need to work on to actually make it happen. It's more in depth than just putting salt on something. All right. Now, dehydrated food. All right. Dehydrators are a great idea to have. We have a dehydrator. Uses electricity though. Now we have the ability to generate electricity. We can dehydrate meat. All right. We can dehydrate fruit, vegetables, whatever. Canning. Canning is a great idea for storing food, but without a fuel source and the correct equipment to can food, it's obsolete. If you don't have jars, lids, you don't have a way to heat up the canner, you're not going to be able to can your meats. So have those supplies if that's what you plan on using for food preparation. Sure, we can sit here and go, oh, well, you can do this. Well, if you don't have the supplies now to do it, how are you going to do it? Are you going to throw a backpack on and run around the city with an AR-15 and go hope that you might be able to loot some stuff, scavenge some stuff up? Get your preparedness ready now. Now, since we just brought up the AR-15, That doesn't mean that that's the type of firearm you need to have to survive the apocalypse. All right, there's many type of weaponry you can have: bow and arrows, crossbows, black powder rifle, big guns, small guns, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're trained in using. All right, but that is a next aspect of preparation. If you have electricity running in your home when grid down, you will have company. All right, they might be the wrong type of company, if you know what I'm saying. You need something to protect your property, your supplies, and your family. So yes, a bang bang stick is a good idea. And yes, we talk about things in code. That's just because this platform, you have to. No muffler. Anyway, yeah, I live in the redneck Riviera. That's what they call Panama City. All right, anyway, back to topic. So, bang bang sticks. Yeah, they work. Are you trained with it? Have you been doing any type of training? And no, I'm not talking about running around the woods like a militia. Okay. Should you do some type of training like that? Sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Is it required for survival? No, unless you're planning on dealing with a lot of forces. Is it recommended if you got the time to look into it? Yeah, I recommend it. All right. There's a difference between having bullets fired at you and hitting a target. It's a huge difference. Okay. So work on plans with your community or your loved ones in your home that you're preparing for on how you defend your home. Do you have ideas for running patrols, setting up overwatch, things like that? Do you have those plans in place? If you don't, start on it now. Start looking for the access points into your property, yard. Go on patrol, looking for trails, tracks, things like that. Get used to doing stuff like that. Get used to working at night, because most of your problems will come at night during grid down, because most people do not have electricity. All right, so they're going to use the cover of darkness to come to your land. We have spotlights and things like that. We have even those solar lights that you hook up, and the solar power charges the rechargeable batteries and their motion sensors. Those things are great. They're inexpensive. Might be something you want to invest in and put back. So we have floodlights that we can flip a switch with our solar system and floodlight the yard if we need to. The reason why we have this, besides working in the yard at night, is that it gives us an advantage point. If we think something's moving, we can spotlight it, we can light up the yard and get the playing field leveled in our favor. We also have night vision. All right, it's generation 1 night vision, but we were able to buy it. It was less than $100. Is it the best night vision? Absolutely not. There's so much better equipment out there. Look into it. If you own the night, you own your yard. All right, let's put it that way. It's much easier to be able to see other targets. Well, CFP, what if they flashlight you? If you're using night vision, they don't know you're there. All right. Sure, if you're using night vision and watching something, someone flashlights you, yes, it's going to blind the crap out of you. But you're not walking around your yard with your night vision on your head. All right, you're hidden. I don't know how to explain this any better. Some of the comments I read, and I do read the comments, guys. Some of the comments are great. Some comments I really think people are just trying to get a stir out of me. Use common sense. That's the best way. That's what we're going to go with. Use common sense on this. You don't want to be in the middle of your yard standing there with night vision. One, you're a target either way. All right. And the last thing we're going to hit on, guys, and I hate to say it, but bugging out. Having to leave your home if you are outnumbered, outmatched, or the house is on fire. You don't think if you got a well-positioned area, if someone just won't get mad enough just to try to burn you out? They will. There's a lot of unkiltered people out there. Even if your supplies are in there and those supplies are what they want, if they can't have it, you can't have it. It's possible to try to burn you out. So bugging out, guys. Have a plan. Have a idea, a location spot where you're going. Now, while we have the time, go to that location spot, scout it out. Can it sustain life? Do you have supplies buried or hidden there? Do you have a structure set up there? Do you have a way to live there when you arrive there? Is it off the beaten path where other people won't accidentally stumble across it, or a whole bunch of other people is going to run too? Now, when I was living in Central Florida, I kept hearing people say, well, we'll just go to Ocala. We'll go to the Ocala State Forest. We'll run out there. Yeah, but when I started taking tallies of everybody with that idea, it was going up to the hundreds. Now, there's hundreds of people out there. Think things through. If you're going to bug out, and yes, plan to bug out if you need to, all right? It needs to be part of your preparation. It's a last resort, but hey, you might need to. Take your gear. Go on hiking trips. Load it down with gear. Test out that gear. Just because you have a fire starter, do you know how to use that fire starter? Test out your gear. No, I'm not trying to insult anybody. Hopefully everyone here knows how to do this stuff. But if you're new to prepping and new to all of this, take your gear out. Don't go and buy a pre-made bug out gear set and you never tested anything out. I recommend fully building your own bug out gear with tested equipment. It's one thing, it's cheaper. Two, you can definitely recommend that gear to somebody else because you've already tested, you've already vetted that gear. You know it will stand up. Let's see, I've got O-Light. We just recently did a review for O-Lights. No, I'm not trying to say O-Lights, but I've had some individuals saying it was the worst light they ever had. Quit working. Customer service was horrible. Well, that was their experience with it. We've been using this every day, and I've not had any problems. You see, it's starting to get evening out here. I'm still going to be out here in the dark. This is the only flashlight I got with me. Why? Because it works great. I tested this particular one, and it's worked fine. It doesn't mean that every single product that comes out of a factory somewhere is always going to work. And all that happens. I've had no problems with it. So take your gear out and test it. So with that bug out gear, get you some local maps. Get you some long distance maps. Print them off. If you have a laminator machine, we have one. But if you have one, laminate those things. You want to make sure they're waterproof. They even sell waterproof maps. But you can go on Google right now and print off your maps and your plans on escape routes and things like that. Get these things printed off. Odds are, if it's a attack grid down scenario, cell phones ain't gonna work. So good luck looking up Google, internet, things like that. Internet's gonna be shut down. All right, get this stuff printed off, hard copied out. Get a compass. Now, just because you got a map and a compass, does that mean that you know how to navigate? No. There are a lot of great YouTube channels that teach map navigation. I learned at a young age. But there are a lot of great YouTube videos out there about map navigation with a compass. I've seen the comments, well, I just look at the stars. Have you checked the skies lately? Where I'm at, I don't even see many stars anymore. All I see is haze, trails. You know what I'm talking about? I can't even see what's in the night sky anymore. Use a compass. Learn how to use that compass. It will save your life. But you've got to have a plan on where you're going. You have to make sure it is vetted. You have checked security reasons, and you know that you'll be safe there for a time being. And then have another plan on top of that. What if you get there, you've been there a week, people are coming in, you don't feel like you can defend that area long enough, you got to move. Have another plan. Does this suck? Yes, of course it does. Of course it sucks. No one wants to live on the run all the time. I lived on the run for a very long time. We talked about my past many times on this channel. I was on the land for 6 years. I was a freight train rider for a year and a half. I lived off the land for a year and a half out of my backpack. It's not all fantasy world, great, this is going to be awesome. It's rough. I don't know if you can see the mud and stuff out here. When you're having to live in the mud on a daily basis because you've hit rain season, it's rough. You have to learn how to build shelters. And no, I don't mean just a tarp shelter. A tarp shelter is great for an emergency purpose right off the bat, but you have to learn how to build a more sustainable shelter if you're going to stay in a location long enough. Or you're going to be going through firewood left and right. You can't retain the heat. And then if you're using fire, you're letting everybody know, hey, someone's down in that area. Anyway, guys, things to think about. Get your preparations in order. And we'll talk to y'all later.